Guys, uni is not that deep. Just like move on to the next stage. That's all that matters. Yeah. Just manage to get 50% and above. Or if the pass mark is 40%, manage to get 40% and above. And just, move. It's never that deep, to be honest.
Well, the 2025 budget came out. It's not looking good for the average Zimbabwean. A taxpayer wants to see, actual output. Look, Zimbabwe is rich. We've got minerals, agricultural sector has a lot of potential. One thing that I'm quite certain for sure is we don't have the capital to industrialize. We don't make as much from taxes. We don't make as much from state enterprises. Our private sector is not yet at the level at which they can actually invest world-class capital.
It seems like for right now, it's like one is giving. Like we're more focused on the foreign market and pushing things out there and whatnot. And then the local entrepreneurs, the people who are trying to do things locally for the country and whatnot, are like having the short end of the stick.
If sanctions are lifted, for some people it's not going to change your situation.
Yeah.
If the economy grows, some people will stay broke. So at the end of the day, people have to have skills that they're going to offer.
What's happening around the world? Ashwagandha. Where do we get what is red in the shell? Ashwagandha, ashwagandha, ashwagandha. What's new, brand new, give me hope. Ashwagandha, ashwagandha. With the updates, that's how we roll.
Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Ashwagandha. I am very humbled to introduce our guest, Sir Cadrick.
Hey everyone, it's a pleasure to be here.
So, as usual, it's your boy Skip, Sir Cadrick, Gigi, right there, Mr. Oga, behind the camera.
Yes.
Yeah, so how have you been? How was your week?
Same old. I feel like the people are tired of hearing.
They know your stories.
Yeah, they know my stories. Uni is hard. That's all. Quite different.
How was your week?
It was good, man. Midterms. Yeah.
Oh, you also just finished your midterms, right? Yeah, we're at the same university, by the way.
You guys are now seeing your results.
Medical gang, yeah. My brother is right here. And me.
How are the results, guys?
Yeah.
Did you do good? What happened in the midterms?
We always managed to survive. We always managed to survive, but yeah. So it's alright. Don't worry about that.
No, that's what we like to hear. Guys, uni is not that deep. Just like move on to the next stage. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Manage.
Just if you just manage to get 50% and above, or if the pass mark is 40%, manage to get 40% and above, and just move. It's never that deep, to be honest. Like when you go to a job interview, no one will ask you, did you get 50% or 60%? It's never that.
It's just the degree that you manage to get the degree
for LGBTQ.
No, guys. Anyway, are you gonna ask me?
Yep. How was your week?
Okay, my week was good. Do I have any stories for you guys? No, I don't.
Mr. Oga, how was your week?
Yeah,
because Mr. Oga
always complaining.
Yeah, he said
I'm complaining. I'm just sharing.
Tell us.
See, it was good, honestly. It has been a very, very productive week, but I don't want to go into details. Yeah.
Oh, we want the details.
Because I know that someone here is very, very unproductive. So I don't. I don't.
We're talking about one of the audience that we have.
Okay,
right?
Let's.
What are you talking about?
Let's allow the elephant in the room to breathe.
That's crazy.
Anyway.
No, but I have something.
Yeah.
It's not this week, right? But next week is my birthday. Guys, one thing I'll do.
Shayo.
I don't know what Mr. Oga say. One thing I'll do is appreciate my birthday. Because, guys.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
Make sure that she does something big.
Yes, because.
But why though?
Because God has given me another year of life.
But that's not the
I must celebrate. I don't know. I don't understand people who don't celebrate. For me, it's not even because I know people celebrate the 18s, 21, 40. For me, I'll celebrate every year because there are people who die, okay?
It's a
there are
blessing.
people who die young. And me reaching the age I've reached is a blessing. And I will celebrate the shit out of it. So, yes, next week is my birthday.
So
Yeah.
what are we doing? What are we doing?
People will see you on the next episode.
All right.
Because I'll be looking glam for my birthday.
Oh
You
my
guys will
days.
know it's my birthday.
Oh my day.
Period.
So my brother, you are the center of this
yeah,
episode.
that's
today.
what we do. When we bring a guest, you are the center of attention.
I'm
Because
like,
we are tired of being on the camera. So
So how are you finding Turkey, my guy? What do you think about this country? How are you finding it
church.
so far?
what is
So far.
How long have you been here, by the way?
This is my third year, I think.
All right.
Yeah, that's a lot.
How's it? How have you been finding it?
I mean, initially, just like every new guy in a new country, it's kind of difficult, but now it's cool, man. I like.
You're
the
used
place.
to it.
Yeah, I'm used to it. I like the place.
Mm.
The standards are quite better than where we're coming from. So
Mm. What do you like most about this country? Can you think of anything like now, like one thing that I like about this country?
man, I think everything is so organized.
The silence was very loud.
Yeah, really wants to dig
You have to think
think
about
why.
I
Exactly, yeah.
but I barely think about it. But the life here is it's quite organized.
Mm.
You can easily move. Transport is good.
Yeah, the transport system is
I feel
perfect.
like that's the one
Bro,
thing. You're
yeah.
the second guest who said
For
the
real.
same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So everything evens out.
Mm. What about the food? The food. What do you think about the food?
Nice shit. It's not good. It's not good.
It is what
Nothing.
it is.
Like you didn't like anything.
Nah.
It's-
Like the first
it's
dish I
what
had when
it
I
is.
came here was like a cold dish. Turkish people like cold dishes, man. It wasn't my thing.
Bad first impression.
Like, cause no man, they don't season their food, and it's not your
Dog.
fault. You guys are not black. I won't say what race you're, but you're black. You're not black, and
But what about the desserts, guys? I think you should. The desserts.
Yeah. I think
Baklava and shit.
Baklava, yeah.
Have you tried it?
It's too sweet, but
yeah,
I can take
because
it.
even
Also, the
then,
dessert is also too sweet.
I could figure
Yeah.
out a better dessert back home that I would eat rather
Man,
than.
everything about Zim food is.
But guys, you can't say that all Turkish food is bad. Not even one, like you don't even define it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have
Same
nothing.
food,
I have
like-
nothing that. I have nothing that. Like when someone asks me, "Oh, you stayed in Turkey. What did you enjoy?" I have nothing. I'm
Maybe
sorry.
baked foods are cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right.
No, for me, it's like even that. Like I can think of other things I enjoyed more than the Turkish ones. I'm sorry.
We get you.
Everything else is good, but the food is.
I think I would say this like on this for the third time in our podcast
Yeah.
that I enjoy pilav.
Everyone knows by now.
Yeah.
If you're an active, if you're an
I
active
like
follower,
You like it?
Yeah, it's good.
So I think
How?
okay, we're used to it, like, so we don't have a problem
No,
with it.
no,
No, but we do have a problem with
It's the
it.
way they make the rice.
But
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know my thing with pilav is that, right?
at least we can agree on one.
Yeah.
No, guys,
So
no,
you
guys,
guys-
no,
So
guys,
I'll
no,
take
guys.
that one. I'll take that.
Ah,
So
my
pilav it
thing,
is then.
my
Yeah,
thing with pilav is it does not have soup. Because if you're Zimbabwean, would you eat rice with chicken that's boiled without soup?
But there's
You have
ketchup.
to adjust.
There's
guys.
ketchup and black pepper.
What? Do you think your mother would take what you're saying right now? Like, what are
The
you
issue
even
is about
saying?
soup. Like it has to have soup.
Like, would you ever imagine, guys, be honest?
Nah,
you are in
for real,
Zimbabwe, a dinner,
Nah,
and your
it's
mother
actually
makes
weird,
rice,
you can-
right?
you can-
Listen, your mother makes rice and then puts tuma beans to snack soup and then puts chicken kakango boiliswa akana kufraiwa akanaiswa maspice
I feel like-
kakango boiliswa and she puts it. Would you guys have eaten that shit when you're in Zim?
I feel like in Zim, it's people say you're probably poor if you're eating that.
Exactly, because
Yes,
what are
yes.
you eating?
Yes.
There are tomatoes, guys. Make soup.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No.
But anyways, overall, it's not.
It's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's not bad.
It's
I
not
agree,
bad.
but
You can eat it.
according to the standards I grew up with, nah.
But you see, guys, there's one thing that I think everyone misses. The most expensive food in the world are not the nicest.
That's true.
Yeah.
They always whack. Look at caviar. For
No,
example.
but if you guys,
Look at-
let's stop. How many of you, right, have actually gone to some expensive restaurant and eaten that so-called food that does not look nice?
Yes, we have. Now she's exposing her.
I'm not trying to expose it. I'm not trying to expose it.
Yeah.
No, because it's not even a matter of financials or anything. Because even me, I'm the same, right? Even if I had the money, I don't think I would like necessarily go and like eat that food because it just looks like it's not food. Like, can you carry a small portion of things that I would never also do it. But my thing is like, would you guys actually go and do like that stuff and enjoy it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's
crazy,
good.
Maybe.
Cause like are all those people crazy for like? Do you think they just do it to show that they are going to expensive restaurants and whatnot and one? I'm sure they are enjoying
the only
something.
problem that I have with these expensive dishes, right, is the amount of food they give you. A small portion of rice, bro. I have to go back and cook salad back home.
It's about the experience, man. It's about the experience.
Yeah, you need to.
Take
Man, is it really
Yeah.
worth it, dog?
You need
I don't
to
know,
taste it, and then after that, then you can like have a conclusion.
I think the reason
I think you
why-
need to give it a
I think
chance.
The reason why we are talking about those expensive food and how bad they are is because we
We cannot afford it.
Yeah, like
problem.
I think like yeah, let's
If
get
you have
to
the
a
money, you
point.
can even
Let's
think
just
about
get to a
everything.
point where we can go right and have a what's it called 5-course. I think also the reason why the portions are small, right, is because you're not supposed to eat only like normally, right? Us right now, if we go to a restaurant, we're gonna get like a big portion of food and we eat once and we leave,
I get
right?
it, yeah.
But when you go to these
There are
things,
courses.
there's a starter,
Courses.
there's the main
4 courses.
course, there's the dessert.
There's
You know?
there's the finisher.
There's the finisher, there's wine, there's wine involved,
There's the finisher.
right? So, like, I think we need to give these things a chance once we can manage to, and then like we come back on the podcast. and
Guys, let's get money. My wish is like we all
Yeah,
get money.
I want to eat Nando's because I want to, not because that's all I can afford.
Yeah.
I want to be able to afford caviar, and I go there and I eat it, and I'm like, nah. And then I just say, you know what? I want to spend my money on Nando's.
Also, the problem is, can we get to where we want to go with the situation back home, guys, in our own country? Mr. K, what do you think about the situation in Zimbabwe? At this moment,
The economic
economic situation. What can you say
Lifestyle and
about it?
all.
Yeah, I guess for the 2025 budget came out. Yeah, it's not looking good for the average Zimbabwean. Taxes going up, so yeah, it's probably going to be difficult. Yeah, it's the harsh reality. You know?
I also wanted to talk about the tax situation, bro. Did you see that video where who is it in Tuli
Yeah,
was like showcasing the tax reforms they are making, like they are putting more taxes on food, you know, for those foods. What do you think about the whole situation now?
well, what happened was, if you look at the course of the year, right?
Yeah.
The road construction, all these activities that were happening throughout the year, especially during Saturday, the preparations, that's all government expenditure going up. You know, they're spending a lot of money. So that money is earned back through taxes.
Oh, okay. So now we are suffering the consequences of making those roads. You know,
Yeah, it's basically, you could look at it like that.
But before this
Yes.
SADC expenditure,
Yes.
were they really spending any money on fixing roads and whatnot and what?
That
And
money
were we
goes
not
into-
being taxed the whole time?
We were being taxed, but you overspend.
On what though? Before this SADC thing,
Yeah.
my roads akazogadziriswa. Say they had not been fixed for a while.
For a while, yeah. You're asking where that money went to?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man.
And that's my
Situation. Government, most governments, if not all, they spend big, right? Remember the wages to be paid. And a lot of costs, like especially running state enterprises and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they run into loss, because private sector provides these services at a larger cost. They try to lower it.
They're
So
trying to
most of these
compete.
state enterprises in Zimbabwe, they operate at a loss, and that's covered by taxation. So those are like the normal costs you'd expect in a budget, plus the ones that go through that are probably allocated to development. Those ones now like widen the overdraft. You know, yeah. So
As you can see, our guy is well versed in economics.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention.
Essentially saying is that the revenue that is being generated from the tax
yes,
would be used in order to
would potentially cover up,
and subsidize some industries.
It could be possible. They could decide to do that, but
Honestly, I'm not necessarily like against tax or anything,
Yeah.
but I think it's very essential.
It is, yeah.
But my thing is
Yeah.
proportionality.
yeah, of course, yeah. No,
Because my
absolutely,
thing is
sir.
that since we've like tax is a thing, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
didn't start today when they then raised now they're raising it up, which means there was tax this whole time.
Yes.
But we hadn't seen things that they claim the tax is for, ukaenda pa toll gate, everyone is paying money for roads to be fixed.
Yes.
And everyone knows the roads were not being fixed.
You can find
Then
the auto.
SADC came, all of a sudden, even then, like not all the roads were fixed. There were certain roads that were fixed.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And then now you come back and they're now saying we're raising up the for what though? Like
Okay, what I'll do is, I think I've been supporting government. Let me say something. I think it'll be a piece of advice to say a taxpayer wants to see, actual output.
right. That's I think that's the main thing.
However, there's some expenditures, let's say wages, the money that
That we
goes to
are
civil service.
unaware of.
You're unaware that money is actually going out, especially in the service sector. It's not real output. So the government will come up and say, we spend it on this, and you're looking for
Something I can
something
see.
that you can visually and you don't see that. So I think government should strike a balance. You say, of course, we have expenditures that people don't see and that are essential. And we have to shift those or sort of balance so that we facilitate for funds that are going to go towards actual development.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you.
Sure.
If you were the president of Zimbabwe right now, what would you do better? Like what would you do to solve the economic problems that we currently have? The first thing that you would do.
Okay. Look, Zimbabwe is rich. We've got minerals, agricultural sector has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And one thing that I'm quite certain for sure is we don't have the capital to industrialize. We don't make as much from taxes. We don't make as much from state enterprises. Our private sector is not yet at the level at which they can actually invest world-class capital for industrialization.
Yeah.
So most of it is going to come from outside, remittances or foreign direct investment, other companies that are going to come in and scale up production, that's what we need. So Zimbabwe's success, it's going to come from out there, man. We're going to have to strengthen our ties with other countries, engage the international community, engage business persons from all over the world to come and invest, because we're not going to be able to tap into the real capacity that Zimbabwe has. So we're going to need people that are going to be out there promoting what Zim has to offer.
But isn't that happening already?
It's already happening. But of course, it is already happening. It's coming back, but not at the rate at which we probably expect.
My thing with the whole issue is, but are we not rich enough? Do we not have enough resources to just be doing these things on our own?
I don't think you can do it by yourselves. You
Why?
definitely need the foreign power.
We need foreign power.
Yeah, foreign
one thing,
interventions.
look at our population. It's quite small, so we've got a lot to offer, but the demand that we have in Zimbabwe is quite small. We need to access international markets, especially for minerals, gold production. You can even count the number of people that have actual gold reserves. You know, much of it is going out there.
Yeah.
So we need to access markets. That's one thing we need for sure. That's how that these resources can benefit us.
Okay.
Because if everybody grabs a piece of gold, man, we're not going to do anything.
Oh, that's evidence.
Yeah. So it has to be traded. So much of success lies out there. What are we going to put out there? You know, and that's how it's going to happen. That's how we're going to make money.
Okay, you have my vote now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my vote.
Here's our vote.
Here's our vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of let's say economical reforms, for example, in Zimbabwe,
Yes.
what are the economical ideologies or systems that you think that Zimbabwe can adopt in order to tap into that reality that you're talking about? I think Zimbabwe is a socialist country, right? Or is it?
Yeah, initially, you know, we have certain elements of it. You cannot really. I know, reforms happen, and we have this whole capitalist movement, socialism. We're evolving. But at the same time, there are certain elements that remain behind. So it depends. You have to be specific to say, in this particular the economic space, the political space, how's the system like? The political, there are strong elements of socialism, but of course, we push in a lot of democracy. We're always actively trying to change the situation. Yeah.
Do you think that the market in Zimbabwe is fair for entrepreneurs? Because entrepreneurs build countries.
Yeah. What I would say from a policy level, yeah, there are some initiatives that have been set, but I don't really see the results, to be honest.
Yeah, because it seems like it pushes more on what you were talking about, that like as a country we need to be trading with other countries, like be more engaged with the foreign market and whatnot. And I'm sure they could find a balance, but like it seems like for right now it's like one is giving, like we're more focused on the foreign market and pushing things out there and whatnot, and then the local entrepreneurs, the people who are trying to do things locally for the country and whatnot, are like having the short end of the stick.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that's why it's seeming like, and it's like really sad. Like I wish like there could be like some sort of a balance.
Yeah, because we're looking at a heavily sanctioned country. So we've missed out on so many opportunities in terms of actually getting the capital that we need. So the average entrepreneur in Zimbabwe is probably looking for government support and the private sector that's already existing. That's all we get.
But the fact that we're actually surviving with these sanctions it's crazy.
Says a lot, I think.
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's why
if everything was okay, we're going to be thriving.
That's why I watch how much I criticize the ZANU-PF, because I always consider the fact that the country is under lots of sanctions. So many years. Because even if someone wants to do something, it's hard to get over it or to get around the sanctions and do something. But I think it's possible.
Yes.
I mean, because things are hard in Zimbabwe. You complain we're about to die, but we're not actually dying. So it says something.
Yeah, and some of them have been lifted. Some sanctions have been lifted.
Oh, really?
Some, You can actually trade now with certain countries, but of course the targeted sanctions have remained. Yeah. And there's always a new guy on the list,
Bro.
I know one thing about being Zimbabwean will strengthen you, because you learn how to live, and people have been surviving.
They have been.
The fact that you can find a way to survive, you are not in the deep end yet.
Yeah, and we're not the only country in this situation.
For sure.
There are countries that are even doing much better than we are, that are under sanctions. Some are doing worse than us, that are under sanctions. So you will have to find a way to survive at the end of the day.
Agreed.
And if sanctions are lifted, for some people, it's not going to change your situation. If the economy grows, some people will stay broke. So at the end of the day, people have to have skills that they're going to offer.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times we then also blame things on sanctions. Recently, sanctions actually in the first place,
I agree
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
But,
There are some issues that really we could resolve for now.
Yeah,
like, it has nothing to do with sanctions.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
So, guys, I haven't been an active TikTok user forever, but recently I've just started scrolling, seeing things, seeing stories. I mean, it's the only way now you can see news, what's going on around the world, what's going on around the world. So, like recently, I found there's a law that has been passed in Australia that shows, social media has been banned in Australia for children under 16. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you think about this thing?
I don't
Is
think.
it a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing.
You think so?
It's a good thing because I think like social media is getting out of hand these days.
Yeah.
Quite literally, there's everything and anything there, right? And it's very hard. Once your child has a phone or anything, I think you can only control what they see to some extent. You know, like you can try as much as you can to censor what they see or whatnot, but like what they do behind closed doors, you can really never know.
Yeah.
You know, even this law as per se, I feel like the it's already gotten out of hand, right? What I'm saying, and even these people younger than 16-year-olds can really find ways around this so-called law. That's how bad like life has gotten to it now. Is I don't even know if it will actually,
Because now we are adapting cultures that are not even ours because of social media. So I think it's another benefit for this law. But then again, I'm saying this to say, social media also has so many benefits, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
You can attain education from social media. You can get knowledge that you couldn't have gotten anywhere else.
but it
through
takes so
social
much
media.
discipline to use
Yeah,
social media.
Yeah.
In as much as this rule, it looks very cute, you know, like you're trying to.
It does.
Exactly. But the thing is, like the kids nowadays are very smart.
That's what I just say.
They
Like
can just lie about their age when they're opening an
there are so
account.
many ways to like.
So it's not gonna work.
They did
No,
it too
yeah.
late. Is my thing. They did it too late. If they, I don't know.
already
I don't know
too
which
deep.
year to pinpoint, but there's a time when they could have done it. Now
We're into
it's
deep.
gotten out of hand
It's out of here
already. Like, bro, there are kids 14, 15 years making money out of TikTok. You think?
Yeah.
Come on now. Like, it's gotten out of hand at this point. But I don't know how they are trying to like implement it legally, but it would have been good if there was a way they could actually do it because
It reminds me of when I was in primary school. My parents do not allow us to use phone unless we graduate. You have to graduate high school before you get a phone. So even then, like we buy personal phones.
you
and
will
then
find
we
a way.
hide it
You will
from our-
find a way.
from our
Oh, my
parents.
days.
And we'll go to school, and me, I would be watching. Okay, there are those cartoon programs online that it talks about ethics. There's that. I don't even know like why I was interested in it back then. So, but my friends on the other hand, also have their own
So you
fun.
think it
are
depends?
watching porn.
Yeah,
So you think
because
it
that's
depends on the
you.
person, right?
It's a you thing.
Oh, it's
like,
a new thing. But they cannot stop the teenagers from using.
no, and that they
phone.
can't. Like maybe at some point they could have, but now
They should like try controlling what they use it for, instead of like
how do
banning
they
it
even
totally.
do that? Like, because there are ways to like make up your age when you're creating a profile. You can claim that you're 18. I mean, kids these days make fake energy
Accounts.
IDs to even buy alcohol, and then telling me they won't do the same thing
Social
for
media,
TikTok.
yeah. With our generation, you don't have to like stop us. Just stop us. You have to talk to us and understand us and find ways you can actually change what you want to change.
They let it go too far is the problem.
Yeah.
And then now they're trying to cut the string short, but it's like far gone at this point. That's the issue. Like,
It's not gonna change anything, but it's a cool, it's a cute initiative.
Yeah, good for them.
I want to say, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you've talked about one of the main things that would improve the economic structure of a company. Of a country. You give an example, Zimbabwe. You need like foreign investment to cooperate with other countries. So recently, I don't know if you've heard about it. Nigeria and South Africa signed some MOUs.
Yes.
And changing the rules of visa applications and extending the days that Nigerian can stay.
Yes.
And it looks very nice. It looks very cute. It's good for us, to like have this kind of relationship with our fellow African countries. But the issue is the backlash that relationship got, especially from South Africa.
Yes.
A lot of people are saying. I think a lot of South Africans actually now demanded for Ramaphosa's resignation. Because of
we know South Africans.
People are upset.
If we need to cooperate and invest in each other's country in order to develop, with it, how can we go further if our people are still fragmented ideologically?
All right. I'm not sure how the government of South Africa came to that agreement that they want to sign an MOU.
That's what I want
between the two countries. But what I think personally, the AU, the African Union agenda, is let's just open up the borders. So that, from an economic perspective, means that goods and services can move easily around, right? If people move, we can collaborate easier, we can grow together, accessing new markets, so forth and so on. And then that's a step towards that, And there's a shaky relationship, diplomatic relationship between South Africa and Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I feel it was a big step, but it also says something about how the SA government is opening up its arms to say, look, we really need to change the situation. We can actually do something together. So at the end of the day, we're going to see a lot of African countries doing the same. That's where we're heading. But the general public,
exactly, that's what I was.
That's where the issue is. It has to be communicated. Informed people would understand these kinds of things. But the average South African is like, yo, man, what?
No, exactly,
Yeah,
bro.
because I think everyone's
They're not happy with
it
it.
from like different perspectives.
Like maybe crime is gonna go up, this, that. But this is where we're heading, and it's our people that have to correct their mindset now. And also the people that are coming in have to understand that they're part of this big initiative that's there, and then you can't mess up.
Sure.
Because there's the government and like hire people who have like a bigger like the bigger picture of what's really going on. They know what they're doing, right? They need the ins and outs of what's going on. And then there's like now the people who are focused on like really trivial issues, like something as small as like a piano or some weird shit like that. Like it has nothing to do with anything, but like the people, that's what they are focused on, like the trivial issues, like
South Africans are already like, why are you doing this? Nigerians are scammers. Don't bring crime into our country. Why are you doing this?
Because they're already considering their president as someone who's not fit to run just because of that. And yet I think there's a genuine reason as to why he went about it that way, economically or politically or whatever. But people are like very, I don't want to use that word, but small-minded, and they think about like like there's nothing to do with anything, and that's what like people are focusing on. That's like
in a population. I always say this to people: in a population, there are good guys and bad guys. Don't judge the whole country because of the bad guys.
True.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
You have to look at both sides. Don't judge everyone based on one person.
Okay, but would you say their concerns are not valid though in this case? Like what you guys think about? Like
exactly.
Are they crazy? Like are they crazy for for reacting that way.
Yeah,
also.
because Nigerians are actually doing some shit, bruh. To be
Because
honest.
I think, okay, let's forget about some of the trivia issues
Mr.
I talk
Ogayo
about.
people.
Yeah, like some of the things they're talking about, like they have fraudsters, this, that, and the third, they're criminals.
Yeah.
Like, do you think they are valid in also like being outraged in that aspect?
Yeah, I feel like their concerns are valid because this is happening. You know, there are some who are doing that, but there are some who are also doing the right thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So as you said, you know, let's not punish, you know, the whole country. You know, but there's gonna be some adverse effects that are gonna come. You know, because those MOUs, and if it's successfully implemented, yeah, you might see crime here and there go up.
Exactly, because like where do we draw the line between a honest Nigerian who's coming to the country and someone who's coming to do their shit? Like, where do we draw the line in? How do they do that? Like, I think that's where South Africans are also coming from. Like, once you open it, you're opening it to everyone. You can't like pick and choose because you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like, so, like, how will it be? It's
sticky
freaky.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know, in some cases, I also think that their arguments are valid because if you look at their history with apartheid, when apartheid was still in power, they've experienced this thing of foreigners coming into their land, do you understand, and then occupying everything and literally controlling every aspect of their lives. So once they now got out of that situations, now they have their own African brothers coming into the country, occupying the jobs, occupying their jobs. You understand, like putting themselves in the strategic place, and it's like they feel like these people, Nigerians or Zimbabweans, now are repeating what happened to them during apartheid. So I think there would be like this friction, you understand, not trying to allow a lot of foreigners to come because you think these people are going to take over your land and your resources, something that you've experienced before. And I think that experience with apartheid has something to do with it. Like, I don't want anyone to come to my country and do better than I do.
Yes.
But the problem with that is we are actually not doing enough in order to
because they themselves are not doing it. That's why there's space for other people to even come and do it.
That's right.
Because if they were doing everything, then how would a Nigerian or a Zimbabwe be able to come into a country and get a job if all the South Africans are doing all the jobs?
Yeah, that's where my beef is with the South Africans. I love South Africans. Their music is great. But sometimes things that they say doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because there's space
for me to be there. That's why it says a lot. Just be competent more enough.
I won't get the job. I won't get the job.
Yeah.
Like, there's no two ways about it. If there was my application and yours a South African, you are actually a citizen. I'm just here. I came to just look for a job. Surely they would give it to you. But like, there are some things that they themselves like are not willing to do, like some of these like trivial jobs that like some of us who are genuinely suffering in our countries, like if I come there, I'm willing to do anything to get that money, and you are not. So why do you have a problem with me doing it?
Exactly.
I'm not stealing anything from you because you are not willing to do it in the first place. It was a situation whereby they were willing to do some of these jobs and they are genuinely like being disregarded because of foreigners. That is a whole different issue. But that's not the case.
Who would understand? But
right now, I think it's not only South Africans. A lot of Africans have this problem, misconception. They have this problem of I don't know if I could say like nationalistic ideologies. Because, for example, when this European come into our continent, no matter where they are, Germany, Netherlands, US, UK, they cooperate together and they steal our resources. So why can't we Like, why can't we do the same?
Like cooperating, just build our own countries together. Like we're not fighting. I think that's what people have to realize. We're not fighting.
Exactly.
They feed on our fragmentation. The moment we are divided, fighting each other or hating on each other,
they have space to
create space for them to enter.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We have to overcome.
Yeah. When it comes to, you mentioned nationalism. I'm a proud Zimbabwean.
Yes.
That's the average nationalist is like, no, we don't want to see these South Africans. We want to see these Zambians coming in, this and that. Who created the borders?
The whites.
The whites, right? It's the reason why you look at a Nigerian and you're like, nah, this is a foreigner. When you're in South Africa, when you're in Zimbabwe, these borders weren't there before. Now, it seems crazy when you talk about integration of African countries and all that, but it's happening in EU, right? You can easily move with the Schengen visa, right? They can move and you can work anywhere in Europe. Capital can move from one country to another easily, right? And they collaborate. That's why we kind of feel like they come and exploit, and they do. But at some point, it's because they've created a bigger machine, because they're moving together. Right? We're so busy fighting with those small little populations.
Yes.
When you could all really just open the border, trade,
and just do us.
Be competitive. Put your skills up.
I feel like we have enough to go around for ourselves. Like,
so I love nationalism, but the way we look at it, it's so shallow.
It's bad.
Don't look at yourself as a Zimbabwean. At some point, look at yourself as an
African. Yeah.
How many countries are there? What can we do?
Yeah, I think we'd go further that way.
That's so bad.
Look at yourself as an African, not
because you literally look the same, bro. Like,
we look the same.
Because you see, nationalism is a very, very strong ideology.
It is.
It's too strong.
I think it started from this guy, Napoleon, right?
Bonaparte.
I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think there was a revolution in France back then. And whenever like a faction of revolutionaries take over the power, another faction of revolutionaries will try to topple them. You understand? And then they wanted to like make it die down, and then this guy came forward, Napoleon Bonaparte, because people were asking, how are we gonna stop this? Because the revolution is over. Like, why are you guys still shouting revolution? And now we have the government. We want to work for the people.
Exactly.
And then Napoleon said, the reason why you guys are able to make this revolution work and do it over and over again is because you guys are French.
Yeah.
And you are the only ones who have that in you to make that happen. And that's how nationalism was created. And then they use that sense of nationalism to now export it out of the country. Okay, no one else have that ideology. No one else can do what we can do as French. And that's how Napoleon conquered, I think, 40% of the world. Because he told these people that you are the best. You are superior to everyone else. So
then we all
it would be very, very useful for us if we would collectively have that ideology as an Africans. But
the problem is we're like compartmentalizing it too much. Like, we are too small as small countries, right? We shouldn't like do this like as a country. Like, maybe later on we now fight all these white people out, but like for now needs to be as a whole continent, and then eventually if any country wants to be above the other, fine, but after we've like made ourselves strong together, because it's very sad that you look at the next black person and you're like, you're a foreigner, get out.
Doesn't make any sense.
We're already fighting racism, guys, for us to be doing this to ourselves.
Have you ever faced racism in this country?
That's random.
Racism.
I have so many times.
Let him
I think you guys now know. I'm just talking, waiting for him to think, because I think you actually.
Let me think.
We have faced so many. We have faced it so many times, especially that story that we told these guys. You still remember that concert that we went? I can't forget.
Yeah, that
about
was the
day.
peak of my race. But like most of the time, I experienced like subtle racism. Like it's like someone is not necessarily inflicting violence or necessarily saying you black person go back to your country, right? But like you feel it, like
The way they just treat
the way
you,
they're looking at you, the way they're treating, it's subtle, but it's there, and you can feel it, and you know why it's there. Because I'm black. Because I mean, you can even be in like something as simple as a restaurant, and you can tell a waiter changing their attitude when they talk to a white person and when they come to you. It's something as small as that.
Or getting into a school team, like in sports, you can't actually be a participant there if you are black or a man of color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, they won't tell you you're black, they'll just give you some weird excuses. But when you sit down and think about it, when you think back, most of the time, maybe at the time you won't like really deep it, but like was Garapazu's funga, you're like, ababa, I was treated differently, and obviously it's because I'm black.
Yeah. I've never faced racism directly.
Oh,
You know, they always try to take corners and
don't go through the
I
corners.
think,
Talk to me direct.
that's one thing about this country.
but
we never
one
be
thing
direct.
one thing about Africans, and I think we need to be serious about this inferiority complex. Yeah, you're already feeling like you're nothing. And the white man is in front of you.
Yeah.
So I've been into the situations where I could tell this guy is probably gonna act this way, but the confidence that you have,
Who changed the whole
you need to be-
narrative?
you need to be cool with who you are, be comfortable in your own skin, and actually command.
Yeah,
keep
take
them-
control.
Yeah, just like I'm the African guy.
Yeah, African giant.
Yeah, like
What
that.
are you saying?
That's the vibe.
Mela-
That's the
Yeah,
vibe.
because I think that's the
No
thing with
respect
the
to trust.
subtle racism is because they can tell good you
Yeah.
already feel somehow,
Because
so
you're
they
already
feel like they have
gullible.
some sort of power over you.
Because trust me, people are soft, especially in this part of the world. We come from tougher situations. We can take anything. So that's what we should use when we're moving around. So we should know that we're not out here to play. You can't just, call me black in a funny way because I'm proud of being black. So yeah, that's how we should.
You
be.
deserve a handshake for this. Yes. Thank you so much, my brother.
No, actually, that's a very, very interesting take.
Yeah.
And speaking about that, I don't know if you know about Joe Biden visits to Angola,
Yes.
and then
You know about it?
I know about it,
France also invited the president of Nigeria, and then he honored the visit. He went there, and they've signed some MOUs as well.
Yes.
I really want to get your opinion on that, because we as Africans, and you're right with that statement, we feel like we are nothing. We feel like we can't do anything by ourselves. That's why we always allow the superpowers to come into our country and tell us what to do, and we do it without any hesitation.
Yes, sir.
So, I don't know. What do you think about the visit of Joe Biden to
Why
Angola?
did he
Because you
even
see,
go
honestly, it came after the situation that is happening between the African countries and China specifically.
Yes.
Because if you remember, China promised $50 billion to African countries over, I think, 3 years or 5 years. And now the fact that the influence of China is expanding by the day in Africa, I think that's one of the main reasons why Joe Biden actually went to Africa to try to bring about things to diminish the influence of China in there. So, what do you think about it?
Well, I was checking US media. What was right at the top of the article that I read was it's his first visit. I'm not sure in his term or ever. I'm not sure.
I think it's ever.
Maybe. I'm not sure. So we're looking at a 4-year term.
You've
No
never
visits.
been
And you've never been there. Now you're on your way out. Trump has won the election. Now you wanna go to Africa acting like you care. You know what I mean? I'm a Trump fan, but I'm also a critic. I don't support everything he does, but he's a better leader. If you to compare the guy with Biden, but trust me, it's too late. Nothing really convincing might come out of it. But if there's an opportunity, let's utilize it. I mean, that's what I could say.
That's
You know,
very true.
yeah, there's an
You know-
opportunity to take it, but you have to be careful because this guy is coming after years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always been bullied into submission.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you realize the kind of relationship we have with the West and the East, it's very different.
Yeah,
When the West come, it's like do what we ask you to do or die.
yeah,
Do you understand? They only go there to steal resources.
Yeah.
On even or unfaithful trading agreements and stuff like that. They
Yeah.
impose. They even weaponize their dollar against us.
Mhm.
They even sanction your country for it.
Sure,
and
sure,
many other countries.
yeah.
But whenever China goes to Africa,
It's different.
it's different.
Yeah.
We're building new infrastructure that would actually benefit your people.
Yeah,
They give back.
So that's why you see that the global north, especially Africa, is leaning towards the east because of it. Because their way of approach is very different. And I think it's a very good thing that our so-called our puppet leaders are actually realizing this and trying to move away from the way. So I think that's it's a step in the right direction.
yeah, it is.
But now it just happened very recently, so we'll have to see what would come out of that.
Yeah, Chinese expansion it's a threat. You know, it is
To
a threat.
them.
But I think they're better guys because even if we can trace back to liberation struggle days, man. These guys helped us. They trained our armies. Russia was even training our armies. You know. Countries from the east were actually helping out. And then one thing I'll be direct to this is your oppressor will never be your liberator. Right? I know right now,
Definitely.
I mean everything is cool. Britain sometimes comes and makes heavy investments in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
We collaborate with guys that that messed with us at some point.
Because they can't suddenly have a change of heart.
Yeah,
like,
but when you talk about mass transformation, like the development that we really need, it's not gonna come from them.
no.
Yeah, it's not gonna come from them.
What they wanted back then is still what
It's
they
still
want
there.
to now.
Yeah, and
Agendas are still the same.
Yeah.
It's still
Just
the
wake
same.
up and change. Because why?
Okay, so let us touch a little bit on the relationship between France and Nigeria, and
Yeah.
then we can move on to I think Skip was one that mentioned earlier before we started recording about the de-dollarization by the BRICS.
Yes.
So let me just give you the context. I'm pretty sure that you know what's going on.
Right.
So I very recently, I think last week, Nigeria and France signed some MOUs.
Yes.
And I can't help but to think that that in recent years the Sahel region has abandoned France.
Yes.
They've
yes.
chased out their military bases.
Exactly. Yeah.
They've nationalized their mining sectors
Mhm.
and everything. And when the Niger coup happened, the West actually asked Nigeria to fight Nigerians in order to restore quote unquote democratic rule.
Mhm.
And now suddenly we are signing OMUs with France, and our history with France was very bloody. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
And so, what do you think about that? Do you think that this is like an initiative in order to build military bases in Nigeria and build an intelligence institution in order to counter what's happening in the Sahel? Or do you see it differently? And I want all your opinions on this, guys.
Okay. One thing I would say is we need to learn from our brothers. If they're kicking out the French, then and you're taking the main. I don't know what that means. And then I'll also put it this way. The guys that are receiving the French are most probably politicians, government officials. They probably have their eyes on the mine,
Right.
on economic collaboration.
Yeah,
And what happens
yeah.
is, there's security where money is, right? If you're going to move your interest in a certain environment, let's say you come in and invest in a particular country, you're going to want to keep it secure. So military bases are going to be set up where the interests are. It's something that's so common. So now you're looking at, if that's the case, the Nigerian military sort of loses some independence to a certain degree because you're housing, military facilities, for foreign countries. So it might be a big problem.
That's always my thing. Like, things are never as they seem,
They never
or
as they seem.
what they claim they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
fighting for, they're building, what they claim they're signing these MOs or for. It's never that. Like, there's always like some underlying issue.
underlying, yeah.
There's the real issue is like wrapped around a little
yeah.
big bow, like seems like something good, us having relations, whatnot, and the third. But that's not what it actually is. It's like there's some underlying issue, right? That does not benefit the people at large. So per se, it's more of like what you were saying where the money is. It's just like so sad that like
Yeah.
countries that involve millions and millions and billions of people are being run based off of money that benefits a few 1%.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
And we
crazy.
don't
It's
even
crazy,
know,
though.
like we don't even know, like most people don't even know, like that's what's actually happening.
Yeah.
We're just told
Yeah.
what we are told,
Behind
and
the
we're like,
scene.
oh, okay, that's nice. Oh,
And when
we
you
are
look at
saying,
Western countries, Grace, right? They've got a strategy for Africa, be it in economic space, politics, even in the social space, right? So if they're gonna come in with a certain initiative that's on paper, trust me, there's something.
that's not it.
Yeah.
There's a real
Yeah.
thing deep
There's
down.
something,
And these guys, they play for the long run, right?
They plan for.
We look at 5 years developments. This guy
Hey,
is thinking
20
40
years, 100 years, like our
Yeah.
kids are gonna be suffering the things we're signing today.
So this guy-
Our kids will suffer it
Yeah.
later. Just like how the things we are going through right now, right? It's
Yeah.
not things people who are in power today sign. The people who sold their souls years ago, right? And we're still suffering too now. And that's the same thing they're doing. Anything new that's coming now, it always seems it's wrapped around the bow. It seems like something good now, but there's some deeper thing. It might not even come into manifestation now. Could be 20 years later, and then
but
you
it
look back
does.
and be like,
Yeah.
So that's
this is
what's
why.
up.
I mean, the thing is like, but why don't we realize these things though? Like, what is the
the
problem?
way they tailor these things. You know, in MOU might be 3 pages, but the plan may be 50 pages.
No, but that's my thing. Like, how do you not realize? Listen, we are here, right?
Yeah.
We're not there when these things were being signed. We know these things. Like, okay, we've researched, we've talked about it, like amongst ourselves. We discuss these issues, and we're not even in power. We're not even economists. We're not even politicians right now. For now.
Yeah.
I'm sure later on guys will liberate our countries, right? But I'm saying for right now, we talk about these things like Senya, like you just they speak, and then you're telling me these people who are supposedly qualified, the people who are supposed to be protecting the country, and the people they don't realize these things, they're just signing things off. Like, what is going on? Like, how do we get here? Like, where we are seduced into signing
We're
things.
just wearing these blindfolds. Like we're not expecting any malicious or
Till today, we've
malicious,
gone
you
through
know.
too much though to like just trust blindly. Like
Yeah.
maybe back then it was fine, but to still be going through the same thing now that our great grandfathers went through, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, do they not say learn from your mistakes? Like,
Are we just dumb?
what is going on?
Yeah, what do you think?
What
Are we
is
just
the
dumb?
issue? Like,
Yeah, there may be some dumb people. some.
Okay, yeah.
There may be some dumb people.
like
But
surely.
one thing, look, yeah, we gained independence, and you know where the white man was sitting is where
We are now
the
sitting
leader is now sitting, right?
in
Yeah.
quotes.
Same policies,
quotes, yeah.
you know, same policies, so forth and so on. Same systems put in place. So it's just a matter of the white guy coming in and you know, this is the guy who created the systems that we're using right now.
Yeah.
You can manipulate them, you can twist.
They
Unless we
know
create our
exactly
own-
what they are doing.
unless we create our own, we're gonna be in trouble for the longest of time. But the guy who created the system, he's the boss.
No, that thing where they say bend down everything,
Bend
start
down,
from
yeah,
scratch.
yeah.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But of course, I
Because
understand.
why-
Long short, guys. We
Yeah.
can't just do that overnight.
We need to ban everything. Everyone
and
must
years.
die and we
But I
just start
understand why.
again.
I understand why African countries have decided to keep some of these systems in place because we
They
are part of a
worked.
global economy. You can't just take out the whole thing and start building your own thing. You'll
Yeah.
be locked out of the global.
Yeah.
You know.
Because we also can't like we're not confident in our own selves.
Yeah.
Because what we were before these people came was compared to what like the world in general is, we were nothing, right?
Yeah.
So for us to like eradicate everything that was brought to us and then say, okay, let's now do this ourselves, it's a bit scary, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like, how are we really going to do it? Like, let's be honest, like Can we even?
It's to some extent it's possible. Why, as I mentioned, the major issue was how are these policies going to be perceived, and are we going to successfully collaborate with other countries? We set up our own thing. It's just a matter of tailoring something that's suited for the modern day Zimbabwe, and pushing it out there in a way that that makes it possible for us to at the same time collaborate with other countries and successfully trade. Yeah. Because it's countries like Singapore. Look at Singapore, man.
They're doing it.
They've done it.
It's possible.
It's possible.
It exists.
What did Singapore do though?
And those guys have transformed that economy. They don't have a strong resource base, but the financial sector, the technological sector, it's crazy,
bro.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
How do they do
So
this?
what they did is let's delve into politics because
They're already
there now.
so their government officials are incentivized, right? Governments around the world, even some in Africa, they lack that incentive to innovate, to develop. So they targeted corruption first and foremost. They had harsh sentences for corrupt politicians, or corrupt policymakers, so forth and so on, right? So that made it difficult for you to actually get into these illicit deals, so forth and so on, right? And the next stage was, how are we going to advance the economy? What they did was, most Asian countries, they want to keep their language, but Singapore was like, everyone has to learn English, right? They've got that competitive advantage in that particular region. They thought with the language issue, everyone knew English, they could trade. So in that region, it was like the go-to country if you want to live at ease or invest at ease, because that barrier was completely taken down, right? And the economic policies were strong because everyone is paid, the incentives are big, and the penalty for corruption is
big.
Is big. That's how.
I support that.
From the
I support that 100%.
Yeah, it's the way to go because corruption is the one that.
Come on, let's
up.
really dial everything back down.
Because
corruption.
You see, when you make politics a very, very unattractive job,
yes,
and the only people that would participate there are people that actually want to make a difference.
Yes,
you understand? So I thought
who have the real ones there.
Yeah.
For now, it's more of like the business at this point.
It's
if you come in, you make money.
For
So even if I don't have the qualifications, if someone says come and you play ball, like what I say you do, regardless of like, I could be an economist, I have real ideologies and real policies I want to put in place. But if I'm in it for the money, if someone who knows nothing about like economics tells me do this instead, when I give a certain policy, I'm just gonna do it because I'm in it for the money. But like, it's one of those where you can't genuinely like benefit that much. All you're getting paid is like for your actual services, like people being incentivized, like what you're saying. Like I'll be in it for the right reasons. Like I can't be like strong armed into doing what's not right for everyone. Like everyone will do their jobs accordingly.
Again, these political things that we talk about, it really gets my head spinning. I don't like these things because when I start thinking about everything, it really just hurts my soul and my heart. So you know what your boy Skip does? It comes with that something else, right? I want to talk about our baddie, our national baddie, Mike Samba. Do you know Mike Samba? How long have you known her for?
Man, since way back.
Ever since you were born, she was there.
The one thing I can say about that lady is she does not age.
She does not age, bro.
At all.
It's just so crazy.
Is she doing like a plastic surgery or something?
No.
Not at all.
She's looked exactly the same.
You can tell if someone takes a plastic surgery.
She has good genes.
Yeah. You know, black don't crack. That's what they say. That's why she's a living testament of black don't crack. Because like she's always looked like does look young, right? But she looks like a grown woman, and she's always looked that way like for the past like I don't know. I'm not 22.
Yes,
I've known her since. She's looked exactly
the same.
Like this guy. What's his name?
Miss.
No. Okay. Morgan Freeman.
Exactly. You see what Morgan Freeman, he's old, right? But he's looked that
The
way, the
same.
same
Yeah,
for
but she knows
exactly. That's why
like
she's
that.
like obviously.
But she's not that old.
She's not that
She
old,
doesn't look
obviously.
old.
But she doesn't obviously look like a 21-year-old or anything. But ever since she reached whatever age she looked like that for a while.
Bad Direnika.
Right.
So she recently, I thought Wicknow was done giving people cars. But he just gave a fortune.
You said that last week again. Clearly, he's not done.
Yeah.
Oh, he gave out another car.
Car,
remember
bro.
last week we talked about another car.
Charamba getting a car. Now it's
crazy.
Bro.
Is he
Just received
picking
the car.
women? Is he picking women this time? Last time, I mean, women got cars.
Yeah, so he's not balancing the equation.
Yeah, I mean,
Gender equality and all.
But what's up with giving the cars, though? Giving out the cars.
I used to have a theory, and like my theory does not stand anymore at this point.
What was your theory?
what was it?
It's not personal. I just what's it called?
Disclaimers.
Adapting
Disclaimers.
theories that you read and like it seems like to make sense. Not like when you think something and then you see something on the internet, then people start making sense out of it, and then you're like, oh, so I was not crazy. And that's the type of thing. Not that I came up with it on my own. Disclaimer. Like back then, right? People were saying, people who had done things to, what's the English word? To
help.
to forward the ZANU-PF campaign at the time the ones were getting cars.
Okay.
And it
Alright.
held for a while, but like now at some point it fell off because I didn't really follow the campaign or anything, but I'm pretty sure one was pure motor at the end of it, or didn't necessarily
Do anything, too much.
or anything at all.
Okay.
So it wasn't necessarily the so now
there's
that's why I'm
something
saying my theory.
Because I know, like, there's just not giving out cars for free.
Maybe it's
I know
out of
that
the
for a
goodness
fact.
of his heart.
Nah, there's nothing like that.
Like anyone
The whole Zimbabweans, that's not possible.
listen,
Guys, come on.
anyone who did something for the country, because we can't say much somebody did not do something for the country. She's been keeping the entertainment industry going, bruh.
Yeah.
She deserves something. And maybe, right? My thing is also the entertainment industry is not also like people don't get the amount of recognition and rewards they deserve for what they've been doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with the entertainment industry in Zimbabwe, like where we can fix it. But for right now, there's genuinely something wrong. There are genuinely people who are doing so much for the country, the entertainment industry, and they're not getting their dues. They're not getting as much like profit or gain or recognition that they should. So in that case, if that's what he's doing, like picking up people who have been doing so much and just like appreciating them, like the little we can and disappreciate, because that car is not even enough to compensate for what they've been doing for years.
I agree.
And years.
Yeah.
So, guys, I also have another question for you guys. Who is your best artist so far in Zim, like right now?
Alive.
Oh, yeah, alive.
Can we say dead or alive?
Okay, deceased or alive,
Okay.
like both.
Okay.
Give me one from both sides.
You know, when you said alive, I actually thought it was someone's name.
Oh, you don't know that?
I
not.
mean, Zimbabwe people
Yeah.
have the weirdest
Did
names.
I had the great Oliver Truth.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Alive.
And then since we're youthful, votes JT.
JT?
Yeah.
Majiz, Muri
I know
Majiz.
he's the one.
What about you?
For me, it's safe flow right now.
Yeah,
It's 10.
I can respect that.
What about deceased? You don't have any.
No, unfortunately, I was not very well versed into this. I'm not proud of it, but that's it. It is what
Okay,
it is.
another question. International. Let's go big.
I think we have to go to specific genres. I listen to almost every.
Yeah, it's too broad.
It's broad.
You know, like,
Dancehall.
Pick a genre.
Dancehall.
what is that?
No, don't dance.
Jamaican music.
Do you guys even listen?
Jamaican? Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
My father.
I don't have it.
But them respect everybody.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The phone a little bit. Skip. You guys, I don't know.
Skip money. Skip man.
No, I'm Skip.
Oh, you're. Oh,
I don't know if you have anything to discuss about or like any questions for him. I just wanna say that I want us to like go back to geopolitics a little bit.
Oh my days.
Because
Oh my days.
we-
Oh my
we've
days.
talked
Okay, maybe you can finish the genre.
Oh my days. Oh my days. Come on. Mr. Oga, you see where we clash. Like this is where the beef comes from.
Like this is the one day we talked about politics.
The whole episode, and now bro, come on.
We've left
We know this is your favorite topic. Yeah, we can finish all of them. Come on, my guy. Yeesh.
next time.
Yeah, don't make me get out of character. Okay, so
Because we actually have not spoken like about de-dollarization.
oh yeah, let's just
Okay,
you come back.
Don't
Like,
say we
yeah,
are.
it's but you already you always be there, right? Yeah. So what was then hip hop?
Old school.
Old school.
Jay-Z.
Let's go to Afrobeat.
Yeah.
Crazy. Do you even listen to Afrobeat?
There's only one man.
I was probably gonna say Brennan, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but who are you gonna pick?
Yeah, I think Brennan's would be.
Okay, same goes to you. Hip hop.
Old school.
I don't even listen to it. Like,
Okay.
No.
it's Pop Smoke old school.
No
No,
one.
it just came. It just came.
No one asked.
Let's go to Afrobeats. You listen to Afrobeat.
Yes, I think she does.
What do you think?
Ashake
Ah,
slash
definitely.
Benaboy.
We know that.
I agree.
It has to be Ashake.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us on this episode. I'm very grateful for you coming here, my brother. Thank you so
We
much.
appreciate
Yeah.
No one asked
You-
asked Mr. Oga about his favorite. Let's move on.
because you catch us and you clearly you do not.
It's
You
fine.
don't want to talk about it? Yeah.
I'll get my revenge.
Okay, but just give us your best Afrobeat artist. Let's just say that.
No, I asked for it, so I'm not doing it.
Fuck off, man. All right, guys. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and tell a friend to tell a friend that
subscribe.
exactly. This is the thing. This is
Please.
yeah. Peace.